So here are 9 factors that a personal injury lawyer will go to evaluating your case. 1, was the defendant, the person that caused the accident, were they negligent? Did they do something that caused you to have your issue? Did they run the stop sign? Did they leave something on the floor? Did they make a left-hand turn in front of you? That's the first thing. Number 2, what are the damages? What's actually hurting you? Do you have something that's affecting your body? Do you have something that's affecting the way you operate, the way you do things now? How has this accident affected you? Number 3, can the defendant pay for the damages? Do they have the means to pay for it? Do they have insurance? If they don't have insurance, do they have assets? Do they have money? If they don't have insurance and they don't have assets, you can get a paper judgment, but collecting will be very difficult, if any. If they have insurance and the insurance company, all you have to do is pay what the policy is, and that's it, unless they make a mistake. And if they have money, then you can go after the defendant directly. But you have to figure out, does the defendant have any assets or any coverages that's available? Number 4, how will a jury look at you, and how will a jury look at the defendant? Are you likable? Is your story credible? Is the defendant likable? Is their story credible? People are still people, and at the end of the day, a jury will be the one that decides the outcome of that case if it goes to trial. Like Mama used to say, the first impression is typically the best impression. And when you go to court, the first impression is that impression. That's the only impression the jurors have of you. So they look at you and they look at the defendants to see whether or not they're credible and they're likable. Super important. Number 5, will the jury believe you? Your story has to tell a story that can resonate with that juror sitting in that box. Will they believe your story? Will they believe our story? If the story is shaky, that's not the image we want to tell the jury. So we want to make sure that we put together the story of your life, of how this affected your life, how this person's negligence, this person's lack of safety has caused you to have this problem. And then put together the story, and if the jury believes you, we're ahead of the battle. Number 6, who is the insurance company? Some insurance companies are easier to work with than other insurance companies, because some insurance companies, they have the means and ability, and some will fight it out because they don't have the means and ability. Are they a shady insurance company? Are they reputable? Is the defense person up there reputable? All these things are important when dealing with insurance companies, especially when you're going to trial. Number 7, where will the lawsuit be filed? Will the lawsuit be filed in where the accident happened? There's 2 places that the lawsuit can be filed. 1, it can be filed where the accident happened. So let's say you got in a car accident in Tampa, Florida. It can be filed in Tampa, Florida, because the accident happened in Tampa, Florida. 2nd, where the defendants live or reside. So let's say they came from another state. Let's say they came from Washington. You can file the lawsuit in Washington, or you can file the lawsuit in Florida. So it depends on where the accident happened or where the defendants live, not where you live, even if you don't live in Florida. Number 8, so is the law on your side? So we gotta look at, did that person have a duty to keep you safe? If it's a car accident, the answer is typically yes. They have a duty to keep other people safe in the road. If it's something random, they may not have a duty to keep you safe. If you're on the side of the road and you're passed out, a doctor driving by doesn't have a duty to stop to save you. The moment they do stop to save you, it creates a duty. Typically with car accident cases, the duty is you gotta keep people around you safe. And then you gotta look at breach. Was that duty breached? Did they not keep you safe? Did that car accident or did that accident itself create your injuries? So let's say you get in a car accident, but none of your injuries came from that car accident, it came from something else. Or none of your issues came from that, came from something else. Well, there's no direct tie to the car accident and your injury. Let's say your foot was broken and you get a car accident and now you want to claim your foot is broken. Well, if your foot was already broken and there's been no changes to it, then they didn't change your pain, they didn't change your issue. So we run into the causation issue. Was your injuries caused from this person's negligence? And lastly, damages. What's affecting you? How has this affected your life? And what's the monetary value of that? Number 9, how much time has passed? So if you got in a car accident and you haven't done nothing at all, and you let it sit there and months have passed by, that's gonna hurt, because the longer you take, the insurance company only knows you what's on paper. So if you have no paper, no documentation for your injuries that you've been going through and what you've been suffering, they're gonna say, this person must not be that much in pain, Because if they were in pain, they would see the doctors. But in Florida, you got 14 days. If you don't get treated in 14 days, your own insurance company won't pay for the medical payments under your personal injury protection, under your insurance policy. So the longer time that passes, the harder it is to prove your claim because it doesn't look like you were injured. You may be injured, but if you do nothing, they're gonna say you can't be that injured if you let it sit for that long. If you have any questions on this, send us a message. If you had a bad day, give us a call. 833-4-BAD-DAY.